And you wanna bring it up for,
This has to be brought up and voted on by our next meeting. Our deadline is March 31st.
Okay,
But we were waiting for the exact specs on it. So,
so we may have to have a special meeting, because if it's a deadline on March 1st, then we're
March
not gonna-
31st.
Oh, March 31st, okay.
has
Yeah.
contractors come in to look
for what?
for like bathrooms, roof?
No, because that's something that would have to be voted on what we want to do with it.
You need bids so you can vote on something.
Okay,
I would assume you needed bids. I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
would
working
need-
with Nate, we gotta get, before the 31st, if this all has to be done, I'm assuming we're calling asphalt people to get bids on the basketball court to know where we're at.
okay, I'll get some bids for the roof in the bathroom.
What?
And then it's something that we just kinda lay out for everyone, and then you guys can vote on which projects you want to do and what projects you don't want to do.
Okay, we'll wait for them to. So that will have to be moved to the next meeting as well.
Yeah.
HB 355 grant money.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do we have a motion to move that to the next meeting?
yeah, we need to have a motion.
I moved to table HB 355 grant to March meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to move the HB 335 grant monies to the next meeting. All in favor?
I-
Next up is floodplain school. It's something that Harley is looking at going to. As you guys, as we are learning, our floodplain administrator, which is me, and Harley's gonna be doing a lot of help in that area.
So when I talked to the floodplain administration group, I have a meeting with them once a month. We go over different work specs, different, what is that? I'm trying to think of. Different applications, different processes and everything that we have to go through to grant someone the okay or the not okay. They have asked me multiple times if I'm going to this school because they think it'd be very good and beneficial for Fromberg for me to go, and since I've been working with them one-on-one, they said that they would really like me to go. I did ask, I did bring up I do have a baby, because I mean that's all of our concerns, and they told me to bring her. They said that there is no issue, they have plenty of children that go to these things, and they are excited to meet her if I get to go. So that was really promising and very nice to hear that there are other organizations that support moms, I guess I would say. So this is through, I would leave Monday afternoon, and I would return Friday afternoon.
And what's the date on that?
So it'd be March 26th through, or February 26th through March 1st, sorry. So you guys have a packet pamphlet in the back of your guys' council packets there.
Okay.
And it's a lot of hands-on work, like being able to identify floodplains. They're gonna be able to have new maps out. There's a lot of good working sessions, and we're hoping that Fromberg would be able to show up.
Yeah.
I have a question. And insurance-wise, she works for the town of Fromberg. When she drives and she has that baby in her car, and she is at work, working. And I just know this because there was a gal that had a heck of a wreck going down the road. and had a party in the car. I mean, where are we sitting? Do we have insurance on all this?
Generally speaking, a lot of it will depend on if she's driving a city vehicle, and I don't know if the city has a vehicle.
The city doesn't.
Oh, if she's, then that's an
But
easy answer.
but she's working, that's what I'm saying. And once you have another party in that car, if you have somebody uninsured hit you, I've watched people lose their places on this.
Oh, yeah?
Where do we sit as a town?
That's an easy answer. If she was driving a city vehicle, it'd be a lot more complicated. Actually, I don't know even if it would be complicated. Usually the city vehicle, and I'm assuming every city policy I've ever read says no non-employees can ride in a vehicle,
Yeah.
including small babies. If she's driving her own vehicle, then she can have whoever she wants in the vehicle, even if she's working at the time. She can have a baby or whomever she wants. And then the city's not liable. The city would likely pay, though. There's a cost for mileage, and then the hotel cost, and then the time that she's on the clock. But anybody could be in the vehicle if she's using her own vehicle.
Okay, that answers that.
We do not have a vehicle good enough to hardly get the buildings and back.
Okay, but I guess, I guess
That's great.
my other concern is, we're still waiting. We are 7 months out on budget wise, and this is 4 days out of the office. And I mean, I'm not feeling comfortable with looking at different stuff here with finances, and we're this far into the year and no budget.
Well, she'd like it to go that long,
You know,
talking about the work that she does, figuring out stuff. I mean, is there a rush right now? Are we going to be penalized for?
well,
We are penalized.
I can tell you that floodplain administration is a very powerful organization within the state.
Well, I understand that, Tim,
And
but you're
the
going, aren't you?
floodplain,
No, it's not.
no, I can't.
Okay.
The floodplain right now is what may be holding up on the Hardin Road. So, it is a powerful organization, and as Harley stated, we have to have our I's dotted and our T's crossed on everything that we do with them, because they can put the kibosh on any project that is in the floodplain, which may possibly include anything you wish to do down here at the ball field, or anything within a 500-year flood plain, which everything was underwater during that point. It's, in my opinion, very important to learn as much as we possibly can to be able to get these permits and do it right so that we don't have issues with them. And if sending her to the school for 4 days will ensure that we don't make mistakes, because there's already mistakes been made that we're trying to correct, because we didn't have the right stuff. So, it could get very expensive, and we just don't want to do that.
And I agree in that aspect. I guess my concern is that the floodplain administrating, because I had to deal with it before when I was a public works director, stuff like that, can be a very time-consuming job.
Yes.
Okay, her main job is our secretary. I guess my question is we don't have anybody else?
It was never advertised, I
that-
mean,
I'm just saying, there's nobody else
so-
that could be doing this,
There-
because I know it's,
There is not.
They're very particular. I tried to see about getting a different floodplain administrator, and they informed me that as the mayor is the floodplain administrator. Autumn, that's just the way it is.
Then the clerk is the one that assists him as well.
So, and having her go to school is a benefit to the town to do that. So we put it to a motion
The
and
biggest thing I'm looking at it is you're gonna be coming into term soon, and if you don't choose to rerun, and we're starting fresh with a new mayor that overtakes that, we're gonna need somebody that can bring up to speed in a quick hurry.
Yeah,
That's, and I'm an advocate for training, I totally get the budget thing, I say
Okay.
100% on that. Like, once we get that straightened out, it's gonna make our lives a lot easier on anything for the upcoming years, but that's just my biggest worry is jumping into it and having somebody start at zero all over again.
So are we gonna let her go to the class? We have a motion?
I moved to allow Harley to go to the floodplain school.
Yeah, agree.
So we have a motion and a second for Harley to go to the floodplain school.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose.
Aye.
We have a tie. I break the tie. I vote for Harley to go to the floodplain school.
Just makes sense, I mean, somebody knows what they're doing.
Well, exactly.
It's a benefit to the town.
Okay, yes it is.
Yeah.
It'll keep us out of trouble. Okay. Public Works Director,
Alright,
take a few minutes.
I've just been, obviously you can see the loads of rock getting dumped around town, trying to get rock for the roads. I was moving the debris from down by the river out to the sewer pond, the old sewer pond, probably still gonna do that, trying to make that burn pit bigger, but if we're shutting it down, it still needs to go somewhere. Down there isn't a great place for that rubble to be. Other than that, just, we've had issues with our well pumps not wanting to run, they keep kicking out, resetting the breakers. After we had that power outage, they've reset 5 or 6 times, just they trip the relays in them. You know, trying to stay up on equipment, services, things like that. That's what I've been
Okay.
doing.
Where are we at with any road repair?
Well, that's a good question. The roads that we need repaired are mostly asphalt roads. I can fill the holes with gravel through the winter, but come spring, we need to discuss where we're gonna be on fixing roads. Because there are some roads that are terrible, we need it.
I've got a few bags of concrete left over, you could use them.
Yeah.
Yeah?
On my word, we gotta do something, because there's some reoccurring holes that
Yeah.
are pretty bad.
Could we possibly get down there across the railroad tracks and you could see where they have went? They don't like to hit the bumps, so now they're going in between the pole and in between the fence at the museum.
Well,
Can we
that's-
get a marker out there so they're not driving through that area?
Absolutely.
First of all, you're gonna wind up into a huge deal. They've already knocked over, that deal, and that's all,
Phone box?
yeah.
It's a dead phone box anyways, but still.
But
it's
still,
bad.
yeah, and so that, number one, and number two is,
We're just gonna do something about that fix. Jay didn't fix it because he said it was a railroad's deal. I don't care, I'm gonna ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Just gonna do it. We're just gonna asphalt it, I don't care.
yeah, well, I think it may be railroad, but the deal is we have an easement with the highway, with the street, and we have to deal with that. The other deal, Mark, and can you check into it? At that intersection there, come,
Sorry.
Okay.
The mayor is the one
okay,
who directs those
okay,
staff.
sorry,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
then
okay.
I'll wait till
Yeah,
you
you-
get to him, sorry.
Yeah, you'd have to ask the mayor.
Okay.
Sorry, just throwing it out there.
No, I'll ask him later on the deal, but appreciate that.
Yeah, and I guess that'd be another thing that we need to discuss as a council, what they need to discuss is like what our budget is and where we'd like to put for roads, asphalt, you know, what we wanna fix. Cause I mean, we can get gravel, it's cheap, so if you want, we can like tear West River up and make it gravel again.
Yeah.
Because from the ditch up, it's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
no, and you're right.
Yeah, and
It'd be a way cheaper way than asphalt, cause asphalt's gonna be $75,000 to asphalt just that section of the road.
Okay.
So gravel, $5,000.
Okay, is there anything else?
Well, no, that was just, fixing the potholes around town. I was gonna see if there was anything else that,
I have a question for you. What is Mark's status on his licensing?
I'm doing a water license first.
You're gonna take the test?
The water school, the spring water school's in March. Dennis really suggests I go to that. I was just gonna go take the test, because I can do that in Billings. He gave me a cheat sheet I kinda went through.
I would go to the school myself, but
Okay, like, it's in March then, and it's, a few days, I'll have to see, cause one's in Lewistown, and then there's another one in the fall that's in Bozeman. But that's when I'll do the wastewater one, is in the fall in Bozeman. So I'll do spring for fresh water and then fall for wastewater.
Okay.
And the applications then, we're just running on Randy's license.
you have a
until-
temporary license.
Yeah.
I was just curious as to when, because it's only due for a year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and like I said, I went through that packet that he gave me, and I was just gonna go take the test. He suggested doing the water school, and the wastewater's way harder, so
I would recommend it.
Okay. Let's see, town clerk.
I have been working on making sure we are doing our possible rate change legally, making sure that, we pretty much do it correctly. There was a lot of things that were brought up at one of our meetings that I had questions on, so I made sure I contacted a lot of people, a lot of higher ups, making sure we do it the correct way, fair for everyone. I've been working on budget and books with Kirsten. With the money that was found, we were able to get it put into the correct fund, and now we have been allocating that money from receipts that we have found from the flood to make sure we are doing that correctly as well, because if not, we'll get fined, money will get taken away, we'll probably never get funding again. I can have a budget tomorrow, honestly. The thing is that I was
No.
requested that it was done on actual numbers, and so that's the reason it is taking longer, because we had to do books for 3 years. And I'm going through the training with Kirsten to make sure I personally know how to reconcile our books every month. And once I get to a point where we are completely caught up, I will have a reconciliation sheet for everyone in their packets for the month, so you guys know it is getting done. So that is the reason the budget has not been completed, but it is something that is, we are striving to get done. It's been a lot of bumps, a lot of, a lot of ifs, and so we're just making sure that it is done correctly, so from now on, it'll be on time, ready to go, and, I mean, our next budget will be easy to get in and
Easy.
done, because I'll know exactly what's doing, and our books will be
Well,
reconciled.
as you're going through the budget and looking at it, and do you see any problems that we're having with not having the funds or in the budget to do the things we're looking at doing?
No, I do not see any problem with the, arising stuff that is coming up for the budget. Just because we did get our taxes reconciled to date, and there were a lot of different, well, let me rephrase that, there were a lot of wrong codes for our taxes. So money that was supposed to be going to rural fire was going into general and vice versa. And so now they're completely squared away, all the figures are put in correctly to where our money's actually being allocated into the correct funds that it's supposed to be going into. I know if you guys look at your budget reports, there are some water and sewer that are in the negative. Part of that $100,000 is to go back and to get that in the correct, like up into positive numbers instead of negative numbers because of the flood. but since that money was never dealt with properly, we've just been having issues making sure that it goes to the correct place with a receipt, because when we do get audited on it, it needs to be done correctly and has to have a paper trail.
Okay, no, thank you. I do know that FEMA said that they would audit and to act accordingly, so we'll do it right. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask for the clerk?
Well, it's been, one thing's been brought up to me is why all the curtains closed off in the office.
So I actually never put those up and I never closed them. They were there per Lacey, because Lacey had people peeking in the office and having issues with people outside of the building, so she put them up. I had nothing to do with that. I have left it there because that is something that was brought to my attention and I just have not done anything.
Well, if you're on Main Street and you are a business, people look in your windows, number one. Number two, I'll tell you what, I used to hate those curtains, and here's why. I could walk out this door, there would be five council people in there with the door shut, talking. And I have a problem with the curtains. Or even to give you an example, the other day I felt very uncomfortable in here, and for the sake of the public, Tim, you was in here, Bob was in there, and I had to go in and grab books, and I did come to the back. But it does not look good for the public to see one person go in, one person go in, and now you got three in that office. And, you know, they walk by and they look, and you don't blame them.
When,
You know, being the clerk of the town, people come in there all the time.
Yeah,
Sometimes
but
two or three at a time.
But we are
She
not,
doesn't
Park around
I've
front
come
so you
in-
can't see whether she's in there.
but we are not supposed to be in, all three of us are not supposed to be in there on a deal. It doesn't,
well, that
What do you
would
mean?
regulate,
Well, clarify that.
just,
well,
just to let you guys know. If you walk in and there's already two council people in there, you
Mhm.
turn around and walk out.
and all
And you
I,
come back later.
yeah, and all I did was grab books
Now,
and come to the
We
back.
do
But-
not, we cannot have a quorum.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But when
So-
you have the curtains closed and people see that, they don't know that.
I'd say it's up to the clerk. If she wants to have the curtains closed, then it's up to the clerk to have the curtains closed. So, we'll leave it at that. Anything else for the town clerk?
Yeah, find a different office for her.
Well, that would be nice. I wish we had.
Something more room.
I wish we had another building, but that's a whole new subject. Anything else? Clerk? Thank you. Okay, mayor and council. Do you guys have anything you'd like to discuss?
What is going on with
The river?
the river?
When I talked to Sharon at the Conservation District today, she stated that the check had gotten into the Army Corps of Engineers, and that's where it's at right now. I talked to her about floodplain issues. She said all that is being handled by Paige, the Army Corps of Engineers. We talked about, there's a 2-week advertisement period that I found out we're supposed to have, and she said that has already been completed. So as soon as Paige, the Army Corps of Engineers, gets with the Conservation District and gets all the approvals on it, then they will let us know. She didn't give me a time. She says, I can't right now tell you an exact time or date. She says it could happen tomorrow, might happen next week. So, and I haven't been down to the thing down there, did you move all that concrete thing, all that's out of the way? And then you've been down there cleaning up, getting ready for the equipment to come in, so we're basically ready for them to start bringing equipment in.
Yeah, all those,
The thing you wanna just be very careful of is, and I talked with Mark about this also, is that we gotta be very careful about where you're parking all that equipment in rock. You do not wanna be anywhere near the flood wells, the wells, circumference of the wells. That was why,
It's 100 feet, right?
right, that's why I talked
That's
with the
why it's on that.
conservation. That's why I talked with the conservation district, with Sharon before about it. That's why I opened up everything down there, that they can enter through the bottom of my property and they can put all that stuff, all the rock and stuff on my property right there. Where it's right access right there by the river.
Okay, so you've already talked to them, they've already talked to you?
I talked to her about it,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Then everything's just waiting for the Army Corps to get with her and say, move equipment. And that could happen at any time.
so you moved all the concrete blocks and stuff down there that were yours? So any of those that are left
I
over?
put yours already over on the city property.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
That was
I
all.
moved yours back on the city
Perfect.
property.
Yeah, cause we're gonna, like I said, finish moving that pile out and then lay gravel out through there. So that way they have a good base road to get in and out through that area. And they can park equipment down there, put rock down there. It's all on that east end towards the old well pump house, so it's,
They can enter through the bottom of that property down there and it's at least tearing up of any ground.
well, that's why I figured I'd put that base through there. I mean, we're gonna use it to park crap on it anyway, so.
Okay. Good. Is there any, that's all I have for that.
I have, trees need to be pruned in that ballpark. They haven't been pruned for years. They're horrible in the ballpark.
Okay, we'll need to get a bid. If you contact.
Do we still get any of those workers from, the sheriff's department?
We
Do you wanna
haven't
do
in a
that
long
seasonally?
time.
I'd call them.
Yeah, put in a request on that again. The couple of them we got were decent hands.
Yeah, and
We have a
then-
lot of trash to pick up as
And the,
well.
and the
Mhm.
trees in the park should be able to be done by a person, not a deal. And the smaller trees.
I don't know, we gotta have, it has to be a professional.
Okay, well, they're bad. They're horrible in
Mhm.
that ballpark.
We've had them, yeah, in our regular park 2 years ago, and then after they did it, then we had a big windstorm and a big branch blew down, so.
Yeah,
But,
okay.
yes,
They need to be done. There's, and then the other thing is alleys. Especially that one down there behind Girl's Place is horrible. If we have a wet spring or something like that, you're gonna have a mess with a dump truck.
yeah, we need to probably grade that alley down, maybe put some rock in there.
Then there's a
Yeah.
couple other alleys in town that need to be paid attention to.
I agree.
Yeah.
We'll go through and locate all the manholes, cause they're all in the alley. I hate to catch one with the blade before I,
Okay.
you know.
And the only other deal is this, and there's all code and what needs to be done. So, that's it. The notes are at the bottom, so.
And I'm sure she will work on that.
Yeah, and I'm just saying it has to be done though, is all.
Well, yeah.
Is it for minutes?
No.
No,
There's a deal on.
minutes, ordinance book, minutes book, all need to be updated.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I can only fight one fire at a time.
I know that, but I'm just.
There's lots, and you're just adding on to it.
Yeah.
Start getting
It's just if somebody comes in here and asks for them and they're not there, that's,
Mhm.
Okay, one of the other things that I wanna bring up right here is, well, there's two things. Actually, we have a zoning committee, and that is Keith McElhaney. I've asked him to, and I've given him the ordinances on the zoning part of it. And he's been going through it, and I went out with him the other day and we looked at a piece of property that they're putting a house on, and kind of walked through it and stuff. So, it would be nice if we had somebody else that would work with him or go with him, because always, two people are always better than one. You get a different set of eyes to look differently and remember different things on that. It would be nice to have a couple of people there. at any time, anything comes into to Harley, then she can get a hold of him and he can go look at it and that
She'll
way
have
he's
my number.
not calling me up all the time or whatever to go.
Oh, sorry to bother you.
No, you can call me anytime you want, but you do anyway. So. And that's all right. But he'll be the one to go out and look. So when you see that he's out there wandering around somebody's piece of property, that's what it is. And it would be nice if we had somebody else that would volunteer to.
Yeah, one of us should carry the shotgun. There you go.
I'll go.
You'll go?
Yeah. He said shotgun.
I'm not sure you can. Now your wife, maybe you
I'll
can.
go.
You will?
I'll volunteer.
So we have another volunteer that would go to there, that would be good.
There you go.
We will get you a set of the ordinances and stuff that we have, the zoning, so that you can go through it and highlight it, and I can be upfront with you, a lot of that stuff is outdated,
Okay.
and so, and hopefully we'll work on getting all that stuff taken care of. But thank you, we'll get that taken care of.
Harley has my number and knows how to contact me.
I wanna know where you guys stand for making the town, in doing things for the town, like bringing, people in. Our low-income housing, I know Nate had looked at that. There's an outfit out of Red Lodge that is willing to sit down with Nate and get these grants and stuff so you can get that project started. And there's monies available out there because we were a presidential declaration. And that money is there, but you gotta get it, gotta go after it. But there's other lots in town, like lots down there by the burn pile. The guy last year offered us, I think it was $120,000 for 6 lots. And they didn't wanna do it. So we don't. If they would have had $120,000 in their budget and would have probably had houses already built there. But that didn't happen. And there's other places around town that are available for that kind of stuff. Do you guys wanna see growth in the town?
Well, of course we wanna see growth.
I wanna see growth, but I'll tell you what, we still have to figure out that ballpark disc situation. I'm not
Okay.
some,
Yes?
I was thinking, I don't know if this was, I might have missed it, I don't know if this was put on the agenda for discussion purpose.
No, just comments from the mayor, I guess.
It might be a good, just to put on the next agenda and notice it up for discussion purposes is what I would suggest.
Okay, well, let's do that. See where,
There's some questions on that.
yeah. And we can talk throughout the month, if you got ideas or whatever, that would be good. I just wanna know, cause I get investors calling and wanting to know what's available.